Now, I'd like to start with a little activity, something to get the blood flowing, and since it is a Sunday, get you guys a chance to stretch. So if you could all join me and stand up for a moment. And it's going to be a very simple activity. When I say go, I'd like you to turn to the people around you and shake their hands, and after doing so, return to your seat. So go ahead. All right. Not a bad start. Now, what I noticed is a lot of you shook hands with the people sitting to the left and to the right of you. And there's nothing wrong with that. I gave you very broad directions, and I was actually hoping that would happen. But I also know that many of you came here tonight with your friends and with your family. And sitting next to you are your friends and your family. So chances are you just shook hands with people you already know. Now, this is an important point, but I'm going to come back to this. I'd like to change gears. And what I'd like to talk about is the importance and the influence of human interaction, and not just forming relationships and shaking hands, but cultivating opportunities. You see, in today's world, it's not just about possessing great intelligence or a creative mind or incredible athletic ability. Now, granted, these things can have the chance to take you down the right path and towards your end goal, but in reality, something special has to happen along the way. And it's not just something special, but actually someone special. And that someone can be anyone, and that someone could be multiple people, but that someone opens doors and reveals opportunities. And the point I'm getting at is that who you know does matter. If you look back at every step of our lives, from day one, we grew up with our family, with our siblings. And our parents, they taught us how to brush our teeth, reminded us to scrub behind our ears, and our siblings showed us how to play a sport, maybe what to wear and what not to wear in high school, and maybe how to talk to your crush. And all of these things are very important, but the key is all of these things are things we didn't know before. And this happens at every step in our lives. Our teachers, our coaches, our professors all show us something that we didn't know before. And of course it sounds obvious at first, but the problem is, because it sounds obvious, is we sometimes take it for granted. And by neglecting that transfer of information, we're also neglecting communication. And the ability to communicate is what defines us as a human race, that allows us to share ideas and to be so innovative. And so if we're not taking every opportunity to communicate, to meet new people, and to share our ideas, then we're really limiting ourselves. Now, I'd like to take a moment and talk a little bit about myself. I am an aspiring entrepreneur, and I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Swipe ID. 2 years ago, I set out with 10 students, and we created an innovative points reward system for high school students. Basically, we wanted to re-energize student engagement in the classroom and also boost attendance to school events. The way it works is every time a student attends an event on campus, whether it's a basketball game, a school dance, or a band performance, they scan their ID when they enter, and they earn points for being there. Now, these points can also be earned in the classroom, and then these points turn into prizes. And the real mission of our company was to promote that networking of high school students and that social communication. Now, the other reason I bring this up is because in order to create this company, I had to step outside of my comfort zone. Now, not too long ago, I was the little boy that cowered behind my mom's leg, wondering why these giant people wouldn't stop squeezing my cheeks. And now I'm able to stand in a group of people, and you will find me submerged in the conversation. I remember on day one with those first 10 students, sitting in that classroom in front of a whiteboard and writing my ideas down and trying to communicate my thoughts, and I was terrified. I turned around and I looked at all the faces, and I thought, what are they thinking? What are they going to say next? And what happened next really surprised me. Each and every student jumped up, eager to share their ideas, add something to the whiteboard, and expand upon it. The discussion started roaring, the creativity was circulating, and you could feel the energy of ideas and the energy of innovation in that classroom. From there, we took off. The company was created. We competed in the Junior Achievement Company program, where we were awarded Southern California's Company of the Year. After that, we were invited to compete in Washington, D.C. for the national competition. While we were there, we gained valuable networking experience. We learned how to communicate with people, but more importantly, when we were shaking hands with congressmen and congresswomen in the Capitol building, we were sharing our ideas. Now, when we're sharing ideas, this is the essence of what communication is. And when I look back on my journey, this company wouldn't be where it is today, and I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't had that opportunity to meet with those students. Because what I had was just an idea on a whiteboard. And what I needed was locked somewhere in their heads, a different perspective, a different thought. And the bigger picture here is that we are limited by our own pathway of thought. If you picture a vast desert, our own thoughts is one road through that desert. But then you introduce a second thought, a second perspective, and you have two roads. And then a third, and a fourth, and a fifth. And eventually, you have roads going every which way, and you get one massive road leading in every direction. And what that means is not just one opportunity, but an infinite number of opportunity at every end of the road. Now, these opportunities are what allow us to innovate. And what I'd like to share with you now is something that I heard once, and it's something that I apply to my life every day and in my business. And that is the quote that you should never stand within 10 feet of another person without introducing yourself. And now that sounds a lot easier than it is to do. So I'd like to bring us back to the first activity. So this time, I'd like you to repeat the activity, but expand your circle. Expand that 10-foot radius and shake hands with people that you haven't met before. So I'm going to ask you again to stand up. I know, how cruel. It's Sunday. I'm trying to relax. And go ahead. Shake hands. All right, you could feel the difference that time. You felt the energy. And now what I'd like to ask is when you break for intermission in a moment, that you go and find those people and you take action. Get their contact information and send them an email and start a conversation. Ask them to lunch and ask them to share their ideas. Hear their stories, hear their ideas, and give them a chance to hear yours. Because the truth is you never know who you're going to meet, and you never know where it's going to take you. But you won't know if you don't try. And you have to remember that life moves pretty fast, so we can't just sit back and miss out on these opportunities. Now, what you could do is take an easy step, start simple, maybe tell the girl in your math class that you think she's cute, or email someone from the company of your dreams and ask them just to talk with you, and you'd be surprised at the response you get. People are actually excited to share their ideas. People want to talk to you. The problem is we're afraid to ask. And that's not the only problem. The other problem is that we're willing to believe this idea of luck, that this one word, luck, we rely upon to take us where we want to go, to allow us to be successful. But you see, luck isn't what we define it to be. What luck really is when opportunity meets preparation. Now, today, I've prepared you with a starting point. And tomorrow, it is your opportunity to seize the next step. And now, for the 10% of you that might actually take action and find those people in the lobby, I promise you will see a change. You will have a new opportunity that you didn't have before. Because the truth is, we all have ideas, and they're all worth spreading. Thank you.